Imagine this for a second. You wake up tomorrow morning and decide no sugar, not forever, just for 30 days. Sounds simple. But by day 10, something happened, which shock you. Now, quick note before we start, when I say quit sugar, I'm talking about added sugars. Things like soda, candy, desserts, sugary coffee drinks, even hidden sugars in packaged foods, cookies. Natural sugar from whole fruits? That's not the enemy here. The average number of persons over age 40 and 50 is eating roughly 17 teaspoons of added sugar every single day. The recommended limit for women is 6 teaspoons, for men, 9. We are eating almost 3 times what our bodies were designed to handle every single day, and after 50, this isn't just about calories or weight anymore. What sugar does to a body over 50 is different, scientifically different. And the surprising side, what happens when you remove it for just 30 days, is something that most people never get to experience. So that's what this video is about. Just the honest, week-by-week truth about what actually happens inside your body when you stop giving it extra sugar after 50. Some of what I'm about to tell you I genuinely had never heard before, and I didn't fully understand that until I tried it myself. And I think by the end of this video, you're going to feel the same way. Stick with me. Before we get into, I need to explain something, because this is the part almost every other video skips completely. And it's the reason I made this video specifically for people over 50, not 20, not 30. After 50, when you were younger, your body was what I'd call a fast forgiver. You ate a big slice of birthday cake, your blood sugar spiked, your pancreas sent out insulin to handle it, and your cells, healthy, sensitive cells, responded immediately. Sugar in, energy out, back to normal. Clean cycle. But here's what changes after 50. Your cells slowly start ignoring insulin's signal. They've heard it so many times over so many years, they start tuning it out. Like a car alarm in a parking garage. After a while, nobody looks up anymore. That's insulin resistance. And it's not a disease. It's just what happens to a body that's been swimming in sugar for decades. So now your pancreas has to shout louder. It pumps out more insulin to do the same job. And chronically high insulin, on its own, separate from blood sugar, drives inflammation throughout your whole body. It disrupts your hormones. It signals your body to store fat, especially around your belly. And it makes it nearly impossible to access stored fat for energy no matter how little you eat. That's why the afternoon crash hits harder after 50. That's why the belly doesn't budge. That's why you're exhausted at 3 p.m. even when you slept 8 hours. But that's only part of it. Here's the part that stopped me cold when I first read about it. When sugar enters your bloodstream, it doesn't just float there harmlessly while insulin deals with it. It physically attaches to your proteins, your collagen, your elastin, the proteins in your artery walls, the proteins in your cartilage, the proteins in your brain. When sugar bonds to those proteins, it creates what scientists call AGEs, advanced glycation end products. That name is not an accident, because literally what they do is age you. They make your cartilage stiff and brittle, which your doctor might just call arthritis. They stiffen your artery walls, which raises your blood pressure. They break down your collagen, which shows up as wrinkles and sagging skin. And here's the one that really gets me. They cross the blood-brain barrier. They get into your brain and attach to brain proteins. And researchers have found such a strong connection between this process and Alzheimer's disease that some of them are now calling Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes. That's not fringe science. That's a serious theory being studied at major universities right now. And here's the thing about AGEs that's specific to people over 50. Your body's ability to clear these compounds slows down dramatically with age. You're producing them faster and clearing them slower. So when you quit sugar after 50, okay, you're not just cutting calories, you are stopping a process that has been quietly building for years. And your body, given the chance, it begins to respond. Let me show you exactly how. Week 1, day 1. The first 24 to 48 hours, this is where most people struggle. I'm not going to be tells like one of those videos that tells you week 1 feels amazing, and you'll notice a difference on day 2. Week 1 is hard, and I want to tell you that up front because most people quit on day 3 or 4 thinking they're doing something wrong or this just doesn't work for them. Nothing is wrong. Here's exactly what's happening in your body. If you're used to having sugar daily, your body notices right away. You might feel low energy, irritability, strong cravings, almost like your body is asking, hey, where did that quick fuel go? And that's because sugar gives you fast spikes in blood sugar. And your body gets used to that pattern. Without it, your system has to start adjusting. But here's something important. Most people don't realize this isn't weakness. This is your body rebalancing. Days 3 and 4, cravings peak. Around day 3, cravings can hit their peak. You might suddenly want chocolate bread, even random snacks you don't usually crave. This happens because your brain is used to sugar triggering dopamine, that feel-good chemical. So when you remove it, your brain is basically like, hey, or we missed that reward. But here's the turning point. If you get through this phase, things start shifting. The first day or 2 usually feel manageable, slightly off. Like something's missing, but you can't name it. That something is dopamine. Sugar triggers a dopamine release in your brain. The same feel-good chemical that drives motivation, reward, and pleasure. Not at the level of hard drugs, but researchers genuinely use addiction language when studying sugar's effect on the brain's reward system. So when you remove it, your brain doesn't panic, but it notices a dullness, a restlessness that feels strange because you're not actually hungry. You're not depressed. Your brain is just recalibrating what reward feels like without its most reliable shortcut. This is real. This is biology. It is absolutely not weakness. This is where it gets rough. And this is the part almost nobody explains properly. Day 3 and 4, many people hit a wall. Headaches, fatigue. Most people think this is sugar withdrawal from the brain, and partly that's true, but there's another layer to it that genuinely surprised me when I found it. Your gut bacteria are dying. Stay with me, because this is one of the most fascinating things about what happens when you quit sugar. The bacteria in your gut that have been thriving on sugar for years, they start running out of food, and as they die off, they release compounds that trigger real physical symptoms. That headache on day 3, it might literally be your gut's old bacteria staging a protest on their way out. Now, here's why this is actually incredibly good news. Those sugar-eating bacteria get replaced. Over the next few weeks, a different population starts to establish itself. These bacteria produce something called butyrate, a short-chain fatty acid that reduces inflammation in your gut, strengthens your immune response, and here's the wild part. It communicates directly with your brain through something called the gut-brain axis, improving mood and cognitive clarity. You're not just changing what you eat. You're replacing the entire population of organisms living inside you. That's not a small thing. That is a fundamental biological shift. Day 7, the first sign. By the end of the first week, something interesting starts happening. Your energy becomes more stable. You start feeling more consistent throughout the day. A lot of people describe it as, I don't feel amazing yet, but I don't feel drained either. And that's a big deal because after 50, those energy crashes hit harder and take longer to recover from. You may also notice fewer midday slumps, less need for constant snacking. Your body is slowly learning to use energy more efficiently. And then something unexpected happens with sleep. A lot of people notice after 1 week, sleep might start improving too. Sleeping deeper, not longer necessarily, but deeper. They're not waking up at 2 a.m., struggle to sleep. Around this period, your sleep might start improving too. You may fall asleep a bit easier, wake up feeling slightly more refreshed. That's because stable blood sugar helps your body regulate hormones linked to sleep. And when your system is more balanced, your nights often get better too. Here's why. Sugar right before bed overstimulates the brain and causes blood sugar to drop in the middle of the night. That drop triggers a cortisol response, your stress hormone, which wakes you up. When the sugar is gone, those night cortisol spikes settle down, and your body finally gets to sleep the way it was designed to. Week 1 is survival, but by day 7, something quiet and important has already started. Week 2, where people start saying, oh, so this is what it's supposed to feel like. Around day 9 or 10, something changes in your thinking. It's subtle, but it's real. Thoughts come a little faster. Words are easier to find. You walk into a room and this is the one that gets people. You actually remember why you went in there. Here's the science behind it. Sugar depletes thiamine, vitamin B1, which is essential for nerve signaling and neurotransmitter production. When you're eating a lot of sugar, your B1 levels get chronically suppressed. And suppressed B1 impairs focus, memory retrieval, and emotional regulation. When you stop flooding your system with sugar, your B1 levels begin to recover. Your brain's circulation improves. The fog, the one you've quietly been accepting as just part of getting older, starts to lift. Your joints start feeling different. Your skin starts telling a different story. Another small change, your face looks a little different. Not in a huge way, but less puffiness. Something weird and wonderful happens with food. Here's the part I genuinely find fascinating, and almost nobody talks about. Around day 10 to 12, food starts tasting different. Real food starts tasting better. A strawberry is suddenly extraordinary. A good piece of chicken is rich and satisfying. A bowl of oatmeal actually tastes like something. This isn't in your head. Your taste receptors have been desensitized by years of high sugar. They've had to turn down the volume on sweetness just to tolerate the constant signal. When you remove that constant signal, the receptors rebuild their sensitivity. It's like coming inside from a really loud party and being able to hear a normal conversation again for the first time in hours. The food hasn't changed. Your ability to actually taste it has. Week 3. At this stage, your body is fully adapting. You might notice reduced bloating, more stable appetite. Slight weight changes for some people. Now, let's be clear. This isn't a magic fat loss trick. But when you remove excess sugar, you often reduce extra calories, and your body responds. More importantly, your hunger signals start becoming more reliable. You eat when you're actually hungry, not just when your blood sugar drops. Week 4, days 22 through 30. Your body has been doing deep structural work. And week 4 is when you start to notice what that work actually looks like. Your liver has been quietly healing. Here's something that almost never makes it into these conversations, and it should. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease affects roughly 25 to 30% adults population in US. The vast majority of them have no idea. It's completely silent. No symptoms, no pain until it's not. And the primary driver isn't the fat you eat, it's fructose. The sugar in your soda, your fruit juice, your sweetened coffee, your liver processes fructose directly. And when there's too much of it, it converts it to fat and stores it in itself. By week 4 of cutting added sugar, liver fat measurably decreases, not over years, over weeks. The liver is one of the most regenerative organs in your body, and give it less to fight against, and it starts recovering faster than almost anything else. Your sleep has changed at a structural level. Remember the sleep improvement from week 1? By week 4, it's gone somewhere deeper. Here's what's different. You're now reaching slow wave sleep, deep sleep. Better sleep isn't just more energy for a body over 50. It may be one of the most important things you can do for your long-term brain health. The weight thing and why, it's the least interesting part. Yes, most people lose weight during 30 days of cutting added sugar. The math is simple. Reduced insulin means your body can actually access stored fat. Lower inflammation means less water retention. Fewer empty calories means less stored energy overall. That's all real and it matters. By the end of 30 days, most people feel a real difference. Not extreme, but meaningful. One last thing I want to leave you with. Some of what we talked about today are the joint stiffness, the brain fog, the belly weight, the sleep problems, the afternoon crashes. These things get written off as just part of getting older after 50. They might not be. Some of it might just be 17 teaspoons of sugar a day for 30 years. And that's actually the most hopeful thing in this whole video. Because unlike aging, you can change that starting today. So it's not one big transformation. It's a series of small shifts that build on each other. And the most interesting part, none of it feels forced. It just feels normal again. If you stayed till the end, you already know something most people your age don't. Drop a comment. Tell me your age if you liked this video and what you want to see next. I read every single one. If this helped you understand your body a little better, subscribe to Rosa Prime Health. Simple, honest health habits. And listen, the next video, I promise you, it's going to surprise you and it will also help you. Subscribe now at this channel so you don't miss it. I'll see you next video. Take care of yourself. Like, subscribe.